Welcome back, people, to the Antonio Mango Football channel. And if you are new here, make sure you smash up the like button, hit the subscribe button. And today we're going to have a brief look at, should it be Romeo Lavia or Enzo Fernandez, or should it be both? So Chelsea have just had a great result, in my opinion, drawn 1-1 with Arsenal. They're sitting third in the league. They've got 19 points from 11 games. They've scored 21 goals, only conceded 13, which is only one more than Arsenal. The same as Man City. They're above Arsenal, Newcastle, Aston Villa, Tottenham, Man United, Brighton. So in my opinion, it's been an extremely solid and brilliant start this season. But on the field, at times, it does feel like something's missing. So we're going to break down the pros and cons of having Romeo Lavia on your side to Enzo Fernandez, and what should Enzo Maresca do moving forwards? Well, in my opinion, I don't think it's as simplistic as saying this guy should start every game, this guy should start every game. But I do believe every successful team has a good spine, and we're starting to build that spine with Fofana and Colwell at the back. We've got Caicedo and either Lavia and Enzo Fernandez in the middle, with Cole Palmer just ahead of them, Nicholas Jackson just ahead of him. Now, although Romeo Lavia has brought some stability, some discipline in the team, it has taken away a creative outlet. So let's look at the qualities of Romeo Lavia and Enzo Fernandez. Me personally, I like them both. They both bring different qualities. The return of Romeo Lavia has brought out the best in Moses Caicedo because it's allowed him to spread his wings. It's allowed him to show off his athleticism and plays that more of like a box-to-box midfielder role, getting around the pitch, making tackles, getting on the ball, just being a nuisance to the opposition, while Romeo Lavia is screening that back line and being that disciplined player. The importance of Romeo Lavia when playing out from the back, receiving the ball on the half turn, looking to make things happen, playing between the lines, he's excellent at that. Whereas Enzo Fernandez might not have the athleticism, robustness of a Romeo Lavia, it does bring a creative outlet. This was nigh on Enzo Maresca's system at the beginning of the season. What he wanted to do was invert his fullbacks to create a box shape in the middle, to have that extra man and an overload in the centre. But the importance of this is the wingers, they need to be high and wide. Cole Palmer will pick up this right half position, and whether it be Cucurella or Reece James or Gusto, Enzo Fernandez would move into this position. One of the fullbacks would move into there, and we would have this box shape in the middle of the park, and pretty much that give us an extra man and allowed us some freedom to be creative. It also brought out the best in Cole Palmer because Enzo Fernandez is dangerous in these situations, so opponents couldn't leave him alone. So he automatically and naturally drew attention towards him, and that freed up Cole Palmer in these spaces to get on the ball and be dangerous. The reason why the creative outlet is come out the side now that Romeo Lavia is back in is because we're relying on the fullback to be that creative impulse. But opponents are switched on to this. They're thinking, look, they're not as dangerous as Enzo Fernandez, so we don't need to double up on that man. So we can concentrate more on Cole Palmer and not allow him any room or freedom. Playing with Romeo Lavia in the side, naturally, your creativity from central positions will decrease. And this is why it's important for others to step up. Noni Madueke, Pedro Neto, Nicholas Jackson, to be more creative. I do think that will happen within time. Players, Noni Madueke especially, just seems like he's going through the moment and bad spell at the minute. I do think his performances will increase. So we're all aware that Cole Palmer isn't being Cole Palmer at the moment. Is that down to tactics? I don't think so. I just think he's going through a moment. But you've got to think the opposition that we've just played against, Manchester United and Arsenal. Now, I know Manchester United haven't been in great form, but they've got players that are tactically astute. I think against the teams like Leicester, Ipswich, Cole Palmer is naturally going to have more freedom. I did say Cole Palmer will go through a bad time at some point in his career. It's not even a bad time because he wants to make things happen. It's just not quite going his way. Eventually that will. As he just continues doing what he's doing, eventually it will click into gear. I spoke about the difference of having Lavia to Enzo Fernandez. Now, can you play the three together? Well, this is what would have to happen if you were to play the three together. Naturally, you can't invert a fullback unless one thing happens. So naturally, the qualities of all three, you could have Romeo Lavia being that screen protector, the disciplined one for the back four. You could have Caicedo being that box-to-box midfielder. Enzo Fernandez being that on the ball, the dictator, orchestrator. Sounds beautiful, right? But one thing that does is forces Cole Palmer out wide. The problem with that, he wouldn't have the room to come inside and be dangerous. So naturally, with an inverted fullback, you want to create this box, gives you the overload in the centre and allows you to play out from the back. What's crucial and people don't realise is the wingers need to act like touchline wingers, because that creates space for the inverted fullback to come inside. If Cole Palmer's coming inside as well, you're not going to have as much room. There's going to be no space available to receive the ball. So what that does is puts Cole Palmer in less dangerous areas, and it just doesn't allow him to impact the game as much. Going back to yesterday, against a team like Arsenal, I think Enzo Maresca made the right decision in starting Romeo Lavia. Reason being is because that sets the tone of the game. That just takes all the sting out of Arsenal's play. It doesn't allow Arsenal to be as fluid. If we started Enzo Fernandez, there was a possibility we got overrun because he doesn't have that robustness or athleticism that a Romeo Lavia has. So I think he made the right call. And then once the game opens up, you bring on Enzo Fernandez to then affect the game. And this is why I think we should pick players based on the opposition. Against a team like Leicester, who we're playing next, I think that's perfect for Enzo Fernandez because it allows us to be the dictator. We're going to see a lot more of the ball, so you want your creative infos in that game. Whereas against games like Manchester City or Liverpool or Arsenal, that's when you play Romeo Lavia, when you want to be a bit more compact, when you want to take the sting out the opposition's momentum. So it shouldn't be an argument, is it Romeo Lavia or Enzo Fernandez? What the argument should be, which profile is best fitted to win this game of football? Against weaker opposition, naturally, you're going to see more of the ball, so you want to create more opportunities. And against a team where it's going to be defined by small margins and it's going to be a tactical chess piece, that's when you play Romeo Lavia. One thing I will say against those weaker teams or mid-table Premier League clubs, there's no reason why all three can't start together. But I don't think you'll do that because I think you'll want to keep at least one fit for the next game. But do you see where I'm going with this? It's not as simplistic as he should be playing every game. Personally, I would start Enzo Fernandez against Leicester after the international break. And then we've got Heiderham in the Conference League. But after that, we've got Aston Villa. Against Aston Villa, I would probably start Romeo Lavia. And I actually thought we performed really well against Arsenal. And I actually think this season, we've shown different aspects of our game. We've shown the ability that we can play football. We've shown the ability that we can be aggressive. We've shown the ability that we can be resilient. Perfectly balanced Chelsea squad. Now it's just up to Enzo Maresca to pick the right players to win that specific game of football. The squad depth and options to Enzo Maresca, it's a beautiful headache. But Chelsea fans should be really excited about the future because Enzo Maresca is doing beautiful things with a beautiful squad. But I hope that makes sense to you all. But if you've enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on another episode. Once again, it shouldn't be Romeo Lavia or Enzo Fernandez. It should be who we're playing next. Let's pick the right player to win that game of football. Thanks for watching, guys.